Hey peers, it's your girl Dr. Ayana, aka Priestess Zayana. Call me what you want, but don't call me out my name. So today I'm going to be talking about a very sensitive, triggering topic, okay? I'm going to be talking about child-free by choice. So I want to give you guys a little story about how I ended up to be child-free by choice and opting out. So first of all, if you do your research, millennials have been opting out of having children lately, and there has been a birth rate decline. And there's some trends online talking about it, and you can look it up and do your own research for yourself. So when I was 18, I ended up getting pregnant. And when I got pregnant, I didn't really know the guy. We was just having fun, hooking up for about 6 months or whatever. And the first time we took the condom off, I got pregnant. The guy was an international college basketball player. He had a bachelor's degree, and he was a good fit. But for some reason, when I was pregnant in the first trimester, I was really, really sick. Like, I was unbearably sick. I also wasn't able to get prenatal vitamins because they didn't have any at the pharmacy. And I was supposed to go back and get them. But the meantime, I was off of prenatal vitamins. And that's what I thought that why I was sick. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sick because I don't have the prenatal vitamins. And I have to go back to the pharmacy and get them. So I kept calling them. They said I had to wait like 8 days because they didn't have them in stock yet. And at this point, I think I was like 4 weeks along. And before I even found out I was pregnant, I was extremely sick. Now, I'm telling you that because, like I said, I didn't really know the guy like that except for intimately. We were just having fun. And he happens to have sickle cell trait. And so that's why I was extremely sick during my pregnancy, and the baby was rejected. So this is just to say you got to be careful about who you get pregnant by. This is why it's very important to know the person that you decide to have children with. If you're going to decide to have children, you have to take into factor the guy. You have to take into factor the woman if you're a man. You have to take into factor their family, who's going to be around your child. You have to take into factor of like how you're going to provide for the child. Are they going to be there? Um my baby would have been good. I had turned 18, I was pregnant, and I had just moved into a 2.5 bedroom all by myself. And I would have had space for a child and stuff like that. And so after the situation happened, I had a talk with my universe and my higher power. And I said, okay, because this has happened, the baby has been rejected. If I'm supposed to have children, let me know. Because I wasn't ready to have children. I knew I wasn't. And because the fact that he wasn't ready too, it kind of worked out for both of us where we kind of, I guess you want to say, dodged a bullet. Like I said, this is a very triggering topic. So I had a conversation with my universe and I said, hey, universe, if it is up to you, if I have a child, so be it. If I become a mother, so be it. And if I don't, be it so. And when I had that conversation, I wasn't ready to have children. Before I had children, I wanted to be married. I wanted to make sure that my behavioral health and mental health was in order. First of all, I was born disabled. So I have been like a step behind a lot of people, like growing up and stuff, because of my inabilities and my diagnosis. I have fibromyalgia. I have mental health. Mental health, as you guys know, I suffer from behavioral health issues and such and such. So I wanted to make sure I understood myself better before I bring a child into the world because I didn't want my child to be a burden. I wanted my child to be a blessing. Okay. By the time I got to a certain age and I wasn't married yet. I was engaged a few times, but I didn't really think that they would be good suitors for the long haul. And I just kind of waited. And I'm engaged now. But I have already opted out from having children. I asked my partner to please, like, if you want to marry me, just make sure that you know that I'm not having children. I have inherited two honorary daughters. So I'm a stepmom, but I do not like that word. Do not say stepmom. I'm an honorary mom. And they don't live with us full time, but we do take them during seasons and stuff like that. So that's a blessing. Um, I've been on medication since I was 4 years old, and I just had this very scary feeling that if I did have a child, that the child would probably be very sick, especially because I'm on life-saving medication that I cannot stop. They say it doesn't affect the child or the pregnancy, but I'm sure those medications, some of the medications that I'm on could, and just them being together could really mess up my child. And I wanted to consider that. So I'm just giving y'all some ideas. If you don't have a child yet, I'm trying to give you guys some ideas of what to consider before you get pregnant and before you lay down and have a baby with somebody. Okay? So I love having my own time. I love having my own space. Like I said, because of my inabilities, I have trouble getting up in the morning, or I have trouble running errands and getting up to do simple daily activities. I like the fact that I could wake up and be like, okay, what do I want for breakfast today? That's my only thought. My thought is not getting up and like, oh, I gotta change a diaper, or oh, I gotta feed the baby, or I gotta do this, I gotta pump, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And you literally have to do those things. Like those are not options. You have to do that. Now, if you decide to get pregnant and lay down with somebody and have a baby, just keep in your mind, whether you're married or not, this baby is yours. You are the mother. This is the culture that we live in. Some people are lucky and have a partner that helps, a village that helps, but that is the exception, not the rule. All right? So when you think about having that baby, make sure you plan that out like you're the sole provider of that child, because it may not work out with your family. It may not work out with your friends who said they'll be there for you. It may not work out for the husband that you have or the partner you are with. All right, the other part of that is you have men trapping women. There are some men out there who will trap you with a baby because they want to control you, or because they feel like you are stable and they want a part of that stability in their life. Like they want the fact that you have your own house, your own car, your own career, stuff like that. They may trap you with a baby so they can have access to those things and always be connected with you. And they can hit you up for money, or they can hit you up for sex, or they can hit you up for a place to stay. Okay? Then be careful for the serial baby daddies. The serial baby daddies are the guys out there with 4 or 5 kids, 3, 4 baby mamas, not married to none of them, not committed to any of them. And you think having his 5th or 4th or 5th, 6th baby that you're going to change him into him settling down with you. Please do not make that mistake. He is a serial dater. He had choice 1, 2, and 3. And he decided not to settle down with those women for whatever reason. And he might even try to play and make it seem like they're the issue. I highly doubt that the 3 of them are the issue here in the situation. Okay? So be careful for serial daters. Be careful for guys who's going to try to trap you with a baby. I've had that before, but thank God that I was always a thing for condoms. Condoms. Okay? If you don't want to do birth control, use condoms. Okay? And that helps with a lot of other things. It prevents a lot of other things. Okay, so condoms. I had guys that try to take the condom off. So you want to make sure when you're doing intercourse that the condom is there and that is secure and he didn't pop a hole in it or something like that. I'm telling you, it happens. Okay. Another thing is childcare is very expensive. Life has been very expensive lately. You see the grocery market, the prices of everything has gone up. The living expenses have gone up. Think about you having to pay for diapers. Think about baby wipes. Think about bottles. These are things you have to have. There are programs that provide free things, but you cannot rely on these things. You want to make sure your child is able to have the full extent of life that they can. You want to be paying for football practice. You want to be paying for cheerleading. You want to be paying for dance. You want to be paying for extracurricular activities, and you want to pour into that child. You want that child to be a blessing and not a burden. So the message is just to share my truth and to make aware, to think very hard before you decide to have a child, because it is a choice. Motherhood is not for everybody. Motherhood is not a requirement to be a woman. You can opt out of having children. You do not need to have children, and you can be child-free by choice. Happy life and a fulfilling life. You can have honorary children, godchildren. You can be an auntie, an uncle, whatever you want to be. There's always going to be children around you, but the birth rate is declining, and a lot of millennials are opting out of having children, and I'm one of them. I'm child-free by choice. Peace.